So, welcome to episode 2 by Yaps by LOOPSIO. Today, I'm very thrilled to have Bayile here. You're the co founder of Bobb.AI, as we can see in the background. We have this colorful dog. You're also founder of Dechomai, a social enterprise, and so many things beyond. So, thank you so much for having me here. And do you mind to give a quick intro for the audience that might not know you?
As I was introduced, I'm the co-founder of Bobb.AI. Bobb.AI was in response to the Scottish Government CIFTech Challenge, which asked how can technology support startup entrepreneurs and help Scotland become a startup nation? So we created Bobb.AI, named after Greyfriars Bobby, who is a trusted companion for Bobby Greyfriar. So we see ourselves as the entrepreneur's trusted companion, providing relevant, impactful, and actionable information in real time, and also pertaining specifically to that specific entrepreneur by providing a personalized report. And through Dechomai, we offer business support, and particularly looking at the global majority community who face further barriers when it comes to starting up businesses, accessing investment, and also accessing the right support. So it's technically that I'm doing the same thing, but using two different tools and looking at the same problem from a different perspective.
Mhm. That's such a nice description. Do you see any difference with, like you said, oh, I'm using different tools. Like what's the big difference that you can find like with doing both enterprises?
So I think with Bobb.AI, we're using technology to support entrepreneurs. With Dechomai, we do use technology, but we provide more grassroots support, more face-to-face, more hand-holding, and engaging more with like community groups and organizations. It's a local approach, so you'll tend to find us working with other community groups and also just growing and strengthening. But there's quite a lot of synergies actually.
Wow. How did you start with Bobb.AI? How did you meet your co-founder Matthew? And did you see yourself doing this like a few years back before the CIFTech challenge?
I was introduced to Matthew through Professor Joe Little from Stirling University, who thought I'd be a great addition to Matthew's dream and desire to approach this challenge, and we just clicked. And we've been working on it since. And we both bring different strengths. So Matthew, he'll always say this. He'll say he's non-technical. He'll say we're both non-technical
Okay.
founders, but he's more technical than I am. Whilst I bring the strength of the ecosystem and the business development. So I think we complement each other. We definitely complement each other. We're looking at psychometric tests, and we're like looking at discovery insights. And if you know psychometric tests like discovery insights, there's 4 colors, and there's red and blue at the top, and then yellow and green at the bottom. So
Yes.
Matthew is definitely red blue, and I'm yellow green or green yellow. I can never
So you
green
guys,
yellow, green yellow.
you
So
guys
we're
are,
the opposite
yeah.
of each other. Yeah.
Nice.
Whilst in Dechomai, I'm actually red yellow. It's completely different. And we've been working on Bobb.AI for the past 1 year, and it's been great to work with something that actually will impact Scotland, impact young people start thinking about starting up businesses, but also support Scotland's ambition to become a startup nation. And I think it's that power of co-creation and the power of connection, because had it not been for Professor Joe Little, Matthew and I would never have been connected. And it's just trying to bring those connectivity relationships to a tool like Bobb.AI to make sure that nobody's left behind and people have those opportunities.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Imagine if someone used Bobb.AI and can be another new Bayile and Matthew. Would that make you feel fulfilled and satisfied?
Do you know what? I once did a program with Entrepreneurial Scotland,
Yeah.
and I remember Sean McGrath saying to me, um, when you come on this program, you need to envisage you're recreating another 100 of you. So everything that I do is say, can there be another 100 of me? So I believe through Bobb.AI, I could replicate times 10. So that's 1,000 of me.
Yeah, that would be amazing and so fun. Imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
So you said you're more people oriented. Does that mean you promote Bobb.AI in different events in Scotland, but also in the UK? And you do like so much stuff other than that. So how does your day to day look like?
My day to day completely varies. And I think that's what I love about being an entrepreneur. No 2 days are the same. And I think that's the way we're wired that one minute I could be, so like today I was with my Dechomai team in the morning. Then I was at Strathclyde University speaking to innovation management students, and they're also looking at product design. So I was talking to them about Bobb.AI and Dechomai. And then this afternoon, I've been doing more Bobb.AI meetings. Um, and then, yeah, over the next week or so, we are showcasing Bobb.AI. So we're at a SEEP organised by Datakirk, and it's a festival to help like with recruitment and entrepreneurship. So we're at that. And then next week, I'll be at the Black Business Show in London, also exhibiting Bobb.AI, trying to get people onto our platform and to sign up to our platform. But then there's other days where I can be in a classroom
Yeah.
teaching 5-year-olds about social enterprise. So yeah, no day, no week is
Wow.
the same.
That sounds so busy and a bit tiring. How do you manage to do all these things and keeping the spirit and energy of like teaching people, but also like promoting Bobb.AI and also showcasing like the innovation scene in Scotland?
Well, Mark Twain always said, and it's the writer Mark Twain, the two greatest days in a person's life are the day they're born and the day they realize why. I feel as if I'm living in my why. I'm doing
Yeah.
something that I enjoy. So for me, it's not a job. It's just doing, I feel fulfilled. I feel as if I'm living right in the center of my purpose. So it doesn't feel exhausting. It doesn't feel tiring. I don't ever wake up and think, oh gosh, I need to do this.
You just keep going and you like it, and then you go back to sleep and you want to like keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I just think for me, it's about inclusion and accessibility to opportunities. And I just think whether it is a 5-year-old getting an opportunity to learn about social enterprise and starting up a social
Mhm.
enterprise, or a community group through Dechomai, or whether it's a startup entrepreneur who has access support through South of Scotland Enterprise or TechScaler or whoever the amazing business support organization is in the ecosystem, they're all wanting the same
Yeah.
thing. Everyone's looking for support and everyone's looking for direction. And if I can be a part of that puzzle
Mhm.
through different things that I'm doing, then yeah, it can be exhausting. It's
Yeah.
just enjoyable. It's fun.
Yeah. Did you always have this sense of purpose and drive when doing things, or do you think it took you like a learning curve to get where you are right now?
I think I've always been fortunate that I've always had opportunities, whether it's through high school where I did enterprise opportunity through Young Enterprise Scotland, or whether it's at college where when I went to college and I had enterprise opportunities again, I had opportunities to travel to places like Paris to support business creation. And I think it's through that and through the opportunities I actually say Scotland is like the land of milk and honey. There's so many opportunities, and you need to see it as a land full of opportunities, and it is just that connectivity. So I've been fortunate to have gone to high school in Scotland, college in Scotland, where I've been able to access these opportunities. But I do acknowledge and realize not everybody has these opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, yes, the self awareness and the development of self has been a bit more natural and knowing how I'm wired. So I'm not a morning person.
Mhm.
What do I like to do in the morning? I like to do podcasts. I like to do university talks.
Mhm.
Um, Spreadsheets can be a bit of a challenge in the morning, but get
Yeah.
me in a spreadsheet in the afternoon. It's absolutely amazing. And I think different people, entrepreneurs, know how they're wired, and it might take people a while to articulate that. But I think it's also that problem solving skill. So believe it or not, before my dad did encourage me to look at software engineering.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did look and I did drop out. But why did he suggest software engineering? Because he acknowledged me as a problem solver.
Hmm.
So it's the same thing. I'm a problem solver. I can solve problems through software engineering, but I can also solve problems through entrepreneurship.
True. Yeah. Through teaching other people, through building useful tools for other people, that's also solving different types of problems. Yeah.
Yes.
So was Dechomai your first big enterprise that you did for yourself? Because I read that you were inspired by the underrepresentation of minorities in managerial roles. So was that the first thing that you did?
So Dechomai actually started off as a social enterprise providing paid work experience opportunities in hospitality. So the root name for Dechomai is Greek. And when you Dechomai someone, you receive them hospitably. You
Um,
accept them just as they are. So that's why, yeah, that's where the word Dechomai comes from. And it was when I was doing Dechomai in hospitality and I was learning about social enterprise that many people said to me, Bayile, how do you know so much about social enterprise?
yeah.
And I said, oh, it's here. The information's here in Scotland. And I realized that there were lots of people who've been living in Scotland, like my mum, but they didn't have that ready access to it. Or they knew my mum knew about social enterprise, but she didn't know where to go for the courses.
Mhm.
And I just thought, okay, why can't Dechmai be the bridge that provides that information? So we see ourselves the way we describe ourselves, we're business midwives. We help
Yeah.
birth businesses in safe and supported environments.
Wow. That sounds good. So, for the things you do you see the people around you and get inspired to create these tools, or does it come from like meeting other people other than your like close, like friends and family, like your mom, your dad?
Yeah, I remember my sister, my little sister wrote in a card for me one birthday and she said, I'm the sum total of everyone that I've ever met.
Yeah.
So I think quite a lot of the things that I do at Decmai are through experiences that I've had with people, conversations that I remember with people, and maybe also those problems that I see people encountering. So I
Mhm.
saw that business support was not accessible. Or it was just a one size fits all for business support. And there have been many reports
Mhm.
since then. We've had the Rose Review, we've had the CREM NatWest Time to Change report, Lloyd's Bank have done a report. We've had the Pathways report in Scotland, and Dechomai have also done the Access report alongside First Port and Social Investment Scotland. And all these reports talk that it's not a one size fits all solution to offering business support or to make sure that we accelerate what gets added into the economy. So yeah, I would definitely say it's through lots of conversations, lots of encounters with different people. And with social enterprise, one of the social entrepreneurs who's always inspired me is Sylvia Douglas from Mrs., who I bumped into on the train and I had a
Wow.
conversation with her. And she was going to pitch for her social enterprise and she inspired me to listen. But then there's also Alan Mahone from Brewgooder Beer, who is always like just so accessible. I can drop Alan a message on LinkedIn or I
Mhm.
can drop him an email and he would just like reply back straight away. And for advice, he's just someone that I can just contact alongside Sylvia. But I think that's the goodness of the Scottish ecosystem that people are so accessible. And sometimes people say it's more social entrepreneurs that are accessible.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's so good. And for anyone that is watching who's saying, Bayili, you've been talking about social enterprise, but what is a social enterprise? So it's a business that reinvests its profits back into a social, societal cause or an environmental cause. So we provide business support and we do that through our enterprise classes, which are either funded or we generate income from them.
Mhm.
And then we also give back through providing enterprise support.
Yeah. So for new founders and entrepreneurs, now that we're talking a bit back to the audience, do you have any advice for people that want to start their own social enterprise, or what skills do you think they're very important right now to have, I don't know, to make their path easier? since it's advice coming from a very experienced person?
Um, I would say start now, don't wait. That's what I would say. Start now, don't wait, because
Yeah.
every business always starts off, it's not like the perfect solution, but it starts off somewhere. And it might not be where you want to be in 10 years' time, but start somewhere. So for
Mhm.
those who are listening later on, what was LG's first product? LG's first product was not electronics. LG's first product was moisturizer and face cream,
Really?
and they've gone on. Samsung's first product was not electronics. Samsung's first product was like a grocery store, and then they went into fabrics and textiles.
Mhm.
Then they went into electronics like 100 years later. And when you actually look at where Samsung also makes its money from right now, its revenue, Samsung's making lots of money from like wind farms and energy. So not just electronics. So every
Mhm.
business will evolve. You just need to start.
Yeah. Starting is always the most difficult part because you overthink, you put yourself like barriers that maybe they're not even there. So, was there any moment like within your journey where you thought, oh, I might give up or I don't know what to do? So, did you have any moment like this? And what helped you like keep going?
I can't lie. I think I would be lying as an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs would tell you every day you probably wake up and want to give up because you always think, oh my goodness,
Oh,
why does it have
yeah.
to be an uphill struggle? But I think it's also having a belief, having my faith keeps me going. So believing in something greater than myself and also believing when you have purpose. Purpose makes you push beyond yourself. You're not just focused on self, you're focused on others and improving society. And that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. Do you have any other interests outside of social enterprise in teaching or I don't even, do you have the time to like find other interests or do you always are in the sick for like new adventures to look for? I don't, does that
Um,
make sense?
Yeah, my interests are actually, I love trying different food. I
Mhm.
love eating out a lot. Whenever I go to different, I love to travel. So whenever I go to different countries, I'm always looking up what should I eat, what should I try, and I'm also proud to say that that's rubbed off on my 8-year-old son, where he's probably more adventurous than me when it comes to trying different foods. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's still my hospitality heart where I'm always yeah, looking to entertain people, looking to host people.
Mhm. If, yeah, that sounds very fun, honestly. I really love food too. And especially like right now I'm in St. Andrews, so there's not a lot of availability. It's a pretty small town, but if we go like to London or like other big cities, I feel like there's more variety.
Yes,
Is there
yeah,
any, yeah.
yeah, I think it depends on what type of food you like, because there are some hidden gems like near St Andrews in the north of Scotland. So I love Caribbean food or Caribbean food. And I found that like in the outskirts of Glasgow, like Kilmarnock and in Falkirk, it's Caribbean restaurants. Yeah, in Glasgow, like we've got a
Really?
really mainstream Caribbean restaurant. And even in the Highlands in Inverness, they have like Caribbean restaurants. And I think
Wow.
big cities like Glasgow and Edinburgh have got chains of Caribbean restaurants, but yeah, not small owned businesses like these other cities have.
Mhm. Do you think the scene has changed from before? Like right now we have all this variety, but looking back 10 years or 20 years, um, was there any like availability of these places? Were they present, or did you feel like a bit underrepresented that you couldn't connect with your roots that well, like now?
I think because my family, like I moved to Scotland for high school, so my
Mhm.
family all grew up in Scotland, and I also had family in England. So I guess for us culturally, for food, it was here, and there were shops that sold that food. But I guess when you look around like in Glasgow about the restaurants that are available and the food that's accessible to
Yeah.
eat. think the world has got smaller, and we've even just got to look at the student population of Glasgow. And yeah, Glasgow's got technically four universities,
Yeah.
which you cannot take for granted. And when you look in the West End of Glasgow, there's lots of like Asian population. So even the restaurants on in Partick reflect the diversity of the West End of Glasgow University. And then Strathclyde would say the same. And Glasgow Caledonian is just up the road, and they could say yes, they're sharing. And then you've also got University of West of Scotland, and that's also got like maybe, and I could be wrong. I hope anyone that's listening, but it's got quite a lot of like African population, and the restaurants and the shops there to reflect that culture. But I think Glasgow's such a melting pot and
Mhm.
a positive reflection on what is possible when different communities and ecosystems, because this is
Yeah.
what we're talking about, ecosystems meet and they collide, and also just the growth that happens from those ecosystems.
I should definitely pay a visit. It's crazy I haven't been to Glasgow with 3 years here. I've
Oh
never.
my goodness, you need to come to Glasgow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really should. I will ask you for a food guide after.
Yeah.
But yeah, we only have 6 minutes left, something like that. So I want to ask more like a question to end this chat. So if your younger self were work chatting you right now, like you from maybe like 20 years back or like 10 years back, do you think they would be proud to see you where you are right now? Like, would they be, oh wow, I'm glad I made it, you know? Or
I think my younger self would actually be shocked at how far I've come, how far the things that I've done. I even wake up some days and pinch myself and think, gosh, Bailey, like you're living your dream. And sometimes, like to go back to your question about doing a lot, um, there's some things that I've thought would be impossible for me to do, and then they've happened.
yeah.
So those moments are like a pinch me moment. And guess it's one of those opportunities where I think I will either do it and learn as I go along, or I could just leave it and wait till I'm ready.
Hmm.
But I've dreamt about this, I've prayed about this, and
Wow.
now the time has come. So I think, yeah, she would be very proud. And I used to always say I did this for the 16-year-old version of me.
Hmm.
I now do it for my son. So I always think if I can make things available for him, if I can
Yeah.
make it easier for him to start a business, if I can make the world easier for him to navigate, then yeah, I'm definitely going to be a very proud mum too.
Wow. Do you have any further aspirations? Is there anything you want to say to future Bailey so you can look back at this chat and say, wow, like the same process, you know?
Um, I think, yeah, I've been on a journey for the past 4 years, and I was saying to somebody that I reimagined my what success looks like for me, and I think what I would like to say to my future self is, um, yeah, you were successful. You did everything you wanted to, and you were successful and content.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy for you. And honestly, I'm so happy for the people that are going to use Bob.AI because they can tell themselves that, I'm happy that I reached here. And maybe like very likely that Bob.AI is the bridge between them and them saying that to themselves. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important that we acknowledge how far we've come, how well we've done. I think people are always looking for the next best thing, and they just never appreciate what they have now or how far they come. And um, yeah, I think it's important not to always be striving for the bigger, the shinier things, when sometimes what you actually have right now is a thing that you prayed for, the thing that you dreamt about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, that's such an amazing way to end the chat, with a
Thank
cheerful
you.
spirit.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me. And I would also love to thank the whole team at LOOPSIO, because without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are, and we really appreciate your support. So for anyone listening, contact LOOPSIO for all your support when it comes to technical.
Well, Thanks for the little advertising. But yeah, I'm very glad you're happy working with us. And yeah, I hope to see you soon.
Yes.
I'll be in contact. But yeah, okay. Have a great day.